Heyo, how's everybody doing? This is EonShiKeno, back with some more matches from IEM Kiev. Tonight I have with me Kibbles. What's going on, Kibbles?
How's it going, man? I'm really excited to cast another game with you, EonShiKeno. If you guys don't know me, I am Kibbles, formerly known as Kibbles and Bits, K&B Starcraft if you're on YouTube a lot. But, yeah, EonShiKeno, my friend. We have not seen each other in quite some time. It's really been since we hung out in that hotel room at, you know what? Honestly, the memories blur together. That was MLG, not IPL. Yeah, I'm like, IPL or MLG? No, IPL, I slept on a cold floor in a top room in the casino. Definitely wasn't you.
That sounds terrible.
I froze to death and paid $100, man. It killed me.
Yeah, our hotel is much nicer at Providence, so.
Anyhow, thanks for having me on here, man. It's an absolute pleasure to get a little break from Playhem and cast some games here. What exactly are we casting? This is from IEM Kiev?
Yeah, this is IEM Kiev quarterfinals, game number 1 between Liquid Zenio, our blue Zerg on the left side of the map, and his opponent, Quantic Naniwa, was over here on the right as our purple Protoss player.
This is going to be exciting, man. It's on GSL dual site. As you guys know, this is a really notorious map. I mean, you know, Eon, it can be really tough. I've seen so many times that we have Zergs going for thirds in this bottom right-hand corner. It's a really distinctive attribute of this map against Protoss, because this ramp that leads between your natural and your third is so susceptible to force fields. It's so easy for a player like Naniwa to just come down, lay down 2 force fields, destroy your third, and go home. And can really leave Zergs in a lot of trouble. So they've found multiple ways to deal with this, whether they use 2-base timings or go for this third above their main as an alternative. I'm really excited to see what we're going to see here out of Zenio versus Naniwa. Naniwa on the other side, what do we see him doing?
He's probably Forge Fast expanding. That's kind of his mantra. But he's going to go for a Nexus first, and then there's the Forge finally. So, yeah, Naniwa going with that Forge Fast expand. Did you see that tweet he posted a while back? It was Forge Fast Expander Die Trying.
Cybernetics Core, don't put it in the front on this map, please, Naniwa. But, you know, a lot of people were criticizing Naniwa of his over-reliance on the Forge Fast Expand, especially at, you know, the event that we went to together, Providence. And it's ultimately what cost him the finals there against Lenok. Do you think we're going to see a probe scout here out of Naniwa? It's one of the things that he really cut that corner of using the probe scout and relied instead on the follow-up zealot, and it cost him the ability to see all-ins coming from Lenok, which, you know, caused him to lose that series pretty dramatically. I would expect, I would love to see a probe scout out of him here just to be safe, because Zenio could definitely, you know, take full advantage, just as we saw from Lenok in previous series. Yeah,
his probe's heading back over there to check out that expansion. One Zergling's going to catch it, but it's not going to be fast enough. He's going to be able to see there's no expansion there yet, and he's going to go right in the main, and you're going to have a nice little probe scout going on to the main. And, oh, look at that, a Roach Warren in the back. Is he going to be able to see it? No, he's not going to see the Roach Warren, but he has to suspect something, as he hasn't seen an expansion yet.
Yeah, we definitely should see. I would love to see 2 cannons dropped here by Naniwa. He doesn't yet have a pylon in position. He drops a second cannon down. Will he choose to drop a third when he gets enough minerals? I think he might. He's not making any probes right now. I think we're going to see him play it safe here with a third cannon. And there it does go. All right, at least he's queuing it up to go down.
There it goes.
There, perfect. Going to defend a great quantity of buildings here. Now, Roaches will still be able to poke the left-hand side of this Nexus, but it's going to be a long time coming, and the Cybernetics Core is nearing completion.
Yeah, so here comes those, what is that, 6 Roaches on the way. Actually, there's the 7th one popping out, and Zenio, I mean, Zenio has to, I mean, knowing Naniwa's playstyle, and Zenio is really a reactive player, so I'm not really surprised he's doing this, considering Naniwa going for a Forge Fast Expand on this map is almost, you know, 100% likely. But Naniwa knows that, he knows that, and he's going to get plenty of cannons up. And we're just going to see how much damage Zenio can do here. Maybe we'll take out that gateway. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's really meticulous, you know, putting the Roaches in the right position. And now what he's able to do here is he can get the Roaches behind the mineral line and force a lack of mining, or he can try to do this damage to the Nexus. Now, doing this damage to the Nexus is really, really close, because if he tries to come in and hit the units that are shooting his Roaches, such as the Sentry and the Stalker, the units can pull back, and the Roaches will automatically fire them and come into cannon range. So it's a really, really micro-intensive process, keeping the Zerg Zenio here on his feet. Look at him doing a lot of damage to the Nexus here, but if he doesn't kill it, all of these Roaches are essentially lost for free. Now, all he is forced down at this point are the cannons, but look at the number of Roaches here out of Zenio, Eon.
Yeah, there's so many roaches here, and they're going to be able to take out this Nexus more than likely. Yeah, things going to fall. He's got 2 Stalkers, not going to be enough now. Naniwa is supply blocked. Zenio can essentially just go back home, or he can continue to apply the pressure. There's only one pylon there, so if he just goes in and suicides on that, that may turn the tides here if he has some more reinforcements in the way, but I don't know. That's kind of risky at this point to do.
That is a fantastic observation, though. Even this additional pylon may be being built out of the range of this one cannon, and it really is. It is an Artos's pylon here for Naniwa, and he does try to drop the Nexus immediately back down, but I don't know if that was the right decision. There is quite a quantity of roaches here, and these cannons are just not in a position to deal with securing this Nexus. He needs more Stalkers, and Warp Gate has finished. He's got 3 gateways currently in place. He's going to be able to warp in a round of Stalkers here, maybe even a sentry or 2, and should finally be able to secure this Nexus.
Yeah, as soon as he warps in like 4 or 5 more Stalkers, that should be enough to start, picking off these roaches a lot quicker, 2-shotting them and stuff like that. But if he takes on this Forge, he's going to be able to walk right in the main there. But no, quickly, Naniwa is going to wall that off with the gateway. Smart thinking there. And he's going to lose a lot of roaches for that, peek up the ramp.
He's going to lose a ton of roaches. Taking so much damage right now is Liquid Zenio, and that is really going to set him back. Take a look at the worker tab right now. Zenio, guys, is still sitting on just 16 workers. Naniwa at 28 now. He's actually started making workers back at home. He's not even remotely concerned about continuing to hold this. Warp Gate is finished. He's got 3 Stalkers, 3 sentries. He's got his 4 cannons. His wall has been reestablished. He's going to be on 5 gateways. Naniwa looking like he's going to be in a fantastic position here, as Zenio is not going to be able to crack the nut that is Naniwa's shell.
Oh my god, look at the force fields and cannon range, and all those roaches just can't go anywhere. GG from Zenio.
Wow, that was honestly a fantastic play out of Zenio. He just, he killed the Nexus, but you have to do more than that, and Naniwa's cannon placement was immaculate.
Yeah, it seems like he's practiced that once or twice before. I'm kind of curious why Zenio just kept going with the roaches. He never really brought in Zerglings. Now, what are your thoughts on that? Usually when I see people do like the Zerg, like the all-in versus a Forge Fast Command, it's like roaches followed up by Zerglings, but they don't keep making roaches. They transition into all Zerglings.
It's a fantastic point. There's a point where Zenio may have been able to break Naniwa. Naniwa was on his back foot for a great portion of that attack. And if during a part where Naniwa was at a vital moment, where he was about to break, maybe the moment where the roaches, for instance, were going up the ramp, if we were to take a look at that moment, if he had there were roaches crossing the board, but they take a lot of time. Roaches are slow units. If those units had not been roaches but been Zerglings instead, a giant wave of Zerglings would have arrived at that moment instead of 30, 40 seconds later. And he may have been able to overwhelm the cannons there. There were almost no Stalkers. There were just the 4 cannons, and he had a good 6, 7, maybe even 8 roaches. And if he had an additional 15 speedlings with that, maybe he would have broken Naniwa, but it's always tough knowing the moment at which Protoss is going to be broken, to have that vital weakness, and your speedlings need to be timed to arrive right then, and that's the key to a really good roachling all-in, and it can be really, really tough to judge. Here we saw it a lot later than you might expect because Zenio took down the Nexus, but yeah, those are my thoughts on that. It could have worked, but it would have needed to be at the exact right time.
Yeah, so great play here from Naniwa, holding off that all-in with those roaches and just some nice cannon placement. Overall, good play from him. That's going to put Naniwa up 1-0 versus Zenio going on in this best-of-5 series. We're going to move on to game number 2 coming up next. Any other things you want to add in here?
Oh, we'll see you in game 2, guys.